Hi guys, Alex here from Amplify Trading. I'm going to start off the video with the euro, which is in a range. It's stuck between the low from August and this resistance points from back end of August, early September, between 117 and 117.60. I currently have a neutral bias, so I have three biases: bullish bias, bearish bias and neutral, and at the moment this is definitely neutral bias, and so I won't be doing any trades in here. But once this range, if this range breaks on the upside, would be more bullish back up towards that 19 handle, and if this range it breaks on the downside, then your first target of course is that September low 116.10, and then maybe even lower down towards that 115 level. And so waiting to see which way this resolves itself. And having a neutral bias is as useful as having any other bias, as it will keep me out of trades and out of getting chopped up inside those ranges. Same with cable here. We're consolidating sideways from that resistance point printed on September 28th high around 129.30. You see here on the daily candles we're unable to close above this level, and so we are ranging. We're moving sideways here with higher lows, and again just waiting for this to resolve itself. So neutral bias for cable as well. See, we had these sort of negative Brexit comments yesterday, and then positive Brexit comments, and then negative Brexit comments, and then this morning von der Leyen and Boris Johnson have agreed to talk tomorrow about Brexit, which the market perceived to be bullish. And I will wait for this to resolve itself, and when it does there will be a nice trend. And of course on the upside we'll be looking, well, back up towards 134, maybe even 135, and on the downside looking for that 126 and the 125s that we'll be looking for in that Amplify blog that we released of those trade ideas. So waiting for these to resolve. And I'll quickly move on to the S&P, which had a lot of downside overnight. Trump catching COVID. We rejected that 3400 area, nice bearish engulfing candle here. Will be interesting to see how price action develops over the session. We had a really nice reaction off this 3200 area that we called sort of a couple of weeks ago of this hammer, and then we couldn't close below the hammer. We got a nice rotation on the upside. This for me is the market showing its hand, that if Trump were to catch COVID and Biden and the Democrats got in, this is the type of reaction that we would expect to see here in equity markets. And so if this downside continues, we'll be looking at that 3200 area that held last time, see what price action we get off of it. If we get bullish price action, we'll want to be long back up towards that 3400, potentially even higher towards the all-time high. And if we break down below here, you know, I'd be looking for other places to get long. You know, I wouldn't want to be short the equity market. I'd be buying on dips once the trend is established, and that would be my strategy there for the S&P. So nothing ready there either. Looking at gold, just to wrap things up. Gold held this August low super well. Really nice bullish evidence here, and now we're just rotated back on the upside in towards this 1915, 1920 sort of resistance area where we are sort of finding resistance here. And the next move for gold is above this resistance here and then this trend line. And if we can test this trend line, it'll be interesting to see what sort of reaction we got there. Gold did pop in early morning off the back of the Trump catching COVID, and I'd be bullish this market, so I'd be buying dips. I'd be looking at the pivot. I'd be looking at areas like this area that lines up with the pivot for the longs, back up towards the high of the day and to test of this trend line. I think that offers nice risk to reward trade there. 20 points on the upside, maybe sort of 5 or so points on the downside. Stop just below this resistance area here, be looking at. And if price did get back up to test this resistance area here, it'd be interesting to see how price reacted up here, and maybe we then play it down on the downside as well. So they're my ideas for the day. Hope you have a happy Friday and enjoy your weekends, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Thanks a lot.